Okay, hi everyone. So this is my first video with a new microphone because my last microphone wasn't great, and my first video on camera in a very long time. I can't see what I look like right now, but hopefully I look okay. I know it's not the best angle, but it's gonna have to do. So you're gonna see me look over a little bit during this video because I'm just looking at my notes. But we are in the apocalypse right now, and it's all right. So there's no need to be afraid because honestly, the apocalypse is just a great revealing of sorts. Ragnarok or the apocalypse is simply a great revealing. It is not the end of the world, but rather the rebirth of a new one. Like, you know how in the Bible it talks about a new kingdom. After this world dies, there will be a new one and it will be eternal and there shouldn't be any strife. Maybe that's what's coming. Who knows? So just a little bit before I start the video, on March 10th, my house burned down. The exterior is fine, but the interior is currently unlivable. And it will have to be rebuilt, or, it's going to be a rebirth. It's going to be starting over from scratch. My mom was home at the time. I was not. I was actually at the store. So when I came back, my house was just, and I was told that my mother was unconscious when they pulled her out of the home. And right now she's still in the hospital recuperating, but she's doing well. Honestly, for the way my house looks, it's really a miracle that she just has some minor burns and she's relatively unscathed through the whole ordeal. So it's one of many miracles that I've experienced recently. And last night I had a dream that I can't quite remember, to be honest. But when I woke up, I heard 3 angels' names ringing in my head, just over and over. And recently I found a dictionary of angels, including the fallen ones, which I'm gonna put in a link in the description below. If you'd like to read it, it's on the National Archive. And I think original copies are like $200 or so because it's, somewhat important book, so they get a little expensive. Which hopefully I can get a copy of it soon. One of the, first edition ones. Those are usually the best, and then like later editions they take out things. But anyway, I can't remember every single detail of this dream. I just know that it was a conversation of sorts, and I don't know if I was reminded of my life purpose or why I'm here, what I've been avoiding for quite some time, if I'm completely honest. Despite all the research and all the life events and all of the coincidences or secret synchronicities, I should say, that I've been actively ignoring, I believe I was reminded of something, so I figure I should just make this video and stop being afraid of being on camera and being afraid of putting myself out there, because I guess why not? And besides, my social media, I don't know if it's reading my mind. I don't know if it's like a sort of kismet deal, but I keep receiving a lot of spiritual videos that I wasn't looking for, but that have helped me. So maybe this video could help somebody. We all have a part to play here. Some of us remember why we're here. Some of us don't. Some of us know and are running away from things, like me. And some people just don't want to know, or they'd rather never know. And even the NPCs, I believe, have a role here to play, and we're all supposed to do something. We all have a piece of something. Maybe we need to put it together, maybe we don't need to put it together. But I figure I should put out what I know, at the very least. I guess that's what I at least owe the powers that be, the angels, all of the blessed things that saved my mother from that fire. Because the way the house looks, my mother should be dead, but she's very much alive and relatively unscathed, and I can't attribute that to anything other than the grace of God. So I should at least do my part of, I guess, why I'm here, what I've been researching for years and just I've had hidden away, which survived the fire. And it's one of the first things I grabbed after things out of the safe. It's the first thing I grabbed and took with me from my home. So this is going to be some of my research on fallen angels, angels, and the war in heaven. So maybe it's my part to tell you, no matter how crazy I may sound right now, but maybe it's my part to tell you that angels and demons, the Most High, the war in heaven, all of those things, and the Apocrypha are real. And angels may not be what you think. Demons may not be what you think. And all of these sort of creatures, the fairies, the dragons, which are now called dinosaurs, the Leviathan, Tiamat, Godzilla, all of those things are real. They do exist. And during this great revealing, I believe that they will be showing themselves more and more as people, especially if you're a gardener, as I am, people have been experiencing a lot of supernatural activity. It's going to be increased during this time, and it may be increased even more soon. I have found that media has often led what should be happening in this timeline or what will happen. Be it they have a looking glass like the Vatican is alleged to have, along with all of the old books that they have underneath in the catacombs below the Vatican, along with the alleged demons they have in service of them under the Vatican. Or if it's just prophecies, but there are certain things that may be happening soon that I believe have been shown to us through TV, movies, video games, and the like. And when you start putting those things together and reading antiquarian books, an antiquarian book is just a book that's 100 years old or more. I tend to really like late 1700s, 1800s, 1880 is usually my cutoff because that is when I believe the maybe 1880s, the 1900s is when the Rockefeller reset happened. There have been multiple resets. You guys can check out like the mud flood theory. People talk about Tartaria. I rather kind of like American Tartary because I believe that America was the first continent to rise from the floodwaters. And the flood, according to the Book of Enoch, was in year 500. And the angels built him the ark, and then he got in. And it was a DNA bank with a pair of each animal, each creature in existence, and they were in America, Utah, I believe. And then they moved down to Egypt. Egypt is Chicago, Illinois, Louisiana, New Orleans, Tennessee. And there's one other which I can't think of. I think Missouri. But a lot of the biblical places are here in America. There was the Tower of Babel, which was somewhere near Canada. The Red Sea was in California. California used to be an island on old maps. So it's a lot of stuff that's where I was first led in my research and my genealogy, actually, tracing my family's history through documents. And then I somehow been led to this whole angelic, heavenly sort of deal. So shows like Supernatural and Soul Leveling, there are a ton of shows, but let's just focus on those. Tell of the ongoing and final showdown, which should be taking place soon, or is taking place now, I should say, between the heavenly host and the forces or legions of evil. And in Supernatural, the first 2 seasons at least, I've been catching a lot of reruns actually on TV here at the hotel because I didn't have TV at home. My mother and I just had Roku, and I just, basically watched YouTube all day. But I have been wanting to watch Supernatural, and I haven't caught it from the very beginning, but I've been catching very pertinent pieces that I've actually been writing about on my websites. I have 2 websites, so I will probably show you screenshots of them when I'm talking about certain things because I've written about them in the past, and it kind of is coming up again. But a lot of these shows are talking about things that I had quite an interest in, and they're talking about angels and demons, and it's using lingo that I've heard before. And I just want to put it out there too, no disrespect, but angels are not what you think. demons are not really what you think either. There are very cunning demons who will talk you into doing things, kind of like Ruby did to Sam in Supernatural. If you've seen Supernatural before, highly recommend it because it has a lot of truth, a whole lot of truth in it. A lot of angels too who are not talked about but actually do exist in biblical lore and in old histories and in those antiquarian books I was mentioning. But there are demons like Ruby who will take advantage of you and have you thinking that you're doing something good and that you're working for something good because they need your consent to do these things. And then you find out that you've been tricked, and that's it. Then there are angels too, which I'm sorry, but they will have you thinking that you're serving a purpose and that everything will be okay, only for things to flip and it's not really the outcome you wanted, but at the same time you consented. And in a way, it's what you've asked for. It is what you were contractually bound to. And then they do give you what you want, but it's always twisted, kind of like a genie. And then this makes sense when you both think that these creatures, angels, demons, they are the same spiritual beings in their core. It's just they serve different sides, and they seem to use the same tactics, some of the same lingo as each other, despite hating each other. It's kind of comical. If you've ever played Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance, which is what I've been playing. Oh, and Persona 5 too, but Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance is a Japanese RPG, which has a lot about the angels acting very self-righteous in a way that's almost draconian. In a similar fashion of the way Supernatural has depicted them. Some of them do have disdain for humanity, it seems. Some of them are very chill, and some of them are earthbound, like Anna or Anna L. That I believe that's who they were trying to depict in Supernatural, that angel. One of the higher angels, actually, which is what she said, Anna said in, the show. It's just a whole lot. It's kind of like Touched by an Angel as well, if you've also seen that show, where a lot of them are here. A lot of them use vessels like Castiel, who is an actual angel in lore. And there are, I guess, starseeds, they would call it, or indigo children who were born or who, chained to a comet, I guess, or fell from the stars and came to Earth for whatever mission that they had here during this dangerous time in our realm. So the heavenly host needs vessels, as does the other side. And before I went off on that little tangent, Supernatural, of course, has Dean as the vessel or projected vessel due to his bloodline and his brotherly relationship with Sam. He is the projected vessel for the archangel Michael. And then Sam is Samael's vessel. Samael is Lucifer.
Endings are hard. Any chapped-ass monkey with a keyboard can poop out a beginning. Endings are impossible. You try to tie up every loose end, you never can. The fans are always gonna bitch. There's always gonna be holes. And since it's the ending, it's all supposed to add up to something. I'm telling you, they're a raging pain in the ass.
What are you gonna do now? Return to heaven, I suppose. Heaven? With Michael in the cage, I'm sure it's total anarchy up there. So what, you're the new sheriff in town? I like that, yeah. I suppose I am.
And Lucifer, in a lot of mythology, a lot of older books, is actually a woman. But angels can choose their gender depending on the vessel that they're in. So a lot of people consider Lucifer a male. So I guess we'll go with that for now, even though I think Lucifer's female, but what do I know? And we also see this in soul leveling with Jinwoo. Soul leveling as a Korean manhwa. And we see this in Jinwoo, who is an reincarnation of one of the archons, who served the Most High, and after a coup, and when they thought that God was dead, they killed Jinwoo's. I forgot what he's called. I know it's called the Shadow Monarch. I've been reading the webtoon off and on, and I've been watching season 2 of the anime. But they killed the Shadow Monarch, and he was reborn on the other side. And he still had a mission, and he was still working for good despite being technically like a fallen angel. And Jinwoo inherited those powers along with a few other vessels on Earth, and they became the vessels for the heavenly powers. And a lot of the mana at that time was due to both sides, the angels and the demons, wanting the mana to be, or spiritual energy to be released into the world so that they can actually have their fated battle and be done with it. Because a lot of them, seemingly through media, through old literature, are tired of this ongoing battle. The vessels are fighting. This battle has been raging since before the beginning of time. In the beginning, there were many wars. There were primordial gods, primordial powers, and that is why the angels were created, because as Castiel tells Dean in Supernatural, they are warriors. The angels are soldiers, and the heavenly host is a spiritual military at its heart. And I know people, well, I guess let's say our popular media likes to romanticize this with having these frilly angels that come down and they say, do not be afraid. And it's like they look humanoid. But in reality, some of them look like monsters. They look scary. They look like the demons that you think that they would look like. And the demons sometimes look like the angels you would think they would look like. I mean, it's very trippy. And a lot of biblically accurate angels have a lot of weird eyes. They might have multiple wings. They might be very scary looking. And some of them cannot even be perceived. Like Castiel, when he first met Dean, he almost, deafened Dean. And he actually blinded the psychic who, even though, he did warn her not to look at him, but she did look anyway. And because of his light, she had her eyes burned out. Same with Anna when she was transforming after she received her grace back from Uriel, she stole it back. She was transforming and she told everybody, Sam, Dean, don't look because she had a lot of light emanating from her body and they would have been blinded if they looked. So a lot of these beings, you can't look at their true form. In the beginning, there was a primordial war and these were soldiers. And they still are soldiers, and there's millions of millions according to the Book of Enoch. And many of these gods have been forgotten to time. A lot of them have made it into our popular media, like Lord of the Rings, or H.P. Lovecraft, I believe. A lot of these Lovecraftian monsters were some of the beings that the angels were created to fight. And there are many gardens of Eden, and there were many races of humans created. But one supreme power ruled out and won, and that is what Shin Megami Tensei V for Vengeance would call the God of Law, who took from the others, stripped the others of their power. So they still have the eternal life, meaning they will live forever, but they don't have the knowledge they need, which was stolen by humans from the Tree of Life, encouraged by the snake that was sent to do so, that was sent to all the gardens of Eden to do this. And because the fallen angels, who became the gods of this world, the gods of mythology, going from place to place, and their names change, but the stories still remain the same. You just have to put all the stories together and you realize that they're all the same story. It's all the same beings. They're just reenacting or acting out different scenarios. They need vessels. They need knowledge. So they possess humans, or they ask for permission if they're angels to possess a human vessel. And with the knowledge and the eternal life, they're able to do things that they can no longer do. And that is kind of the storyline of Shin Megami Tensei V, Vengeance, the Nahubino, which is, a Babylonian, which was in America. It would be what used to be, how the gods used to be before they fell from grace and fell into madness and depravity. And I say gods, I mean, again, the fallen angels and those who posed as takers of prayers. Maybe they were serving a higher power, maybe they were serving themselves, maybe they were serving darker forces. But it's been a lot of muddled things through history, through mythologies, through the Apocrypha. And so when those gardens of Eden were breached, chaos had broke out onto the earth. And according to the Book of Enoch, the Most High, the God of Law, made the spawn of the fallen angels who became the Nephilim, or the giants, fight each other, and put it in their hearts to fight each other so that they would become the evil spirits that still float around to this day, wreaking havoc. And then you have the fallen angels who petitioned Enoch, who later became Metatron, the scribe of heaven. And after their petition, the Most High answered their petition and told them that they will have no peace, and he has, or they have already prepared for their punishment, the fallen angels' punishment. And Azazel in particular will be punished very harshly. I mean, he's written twice as the offending angels due to him teaching humanity how to kill one another. That seems to be one of the very grave things. That, and I believe Gadriel, who fathered Cain and Abel, who, led Eve astray, and who is the true father of those two, is also going to be punished, as he was one of the watchers who was supposed to be guarding as he was one of the watchers who was supposed to be guarding the Garden of Eden that Adam and Eve were staying at. And of course, Noah and of course, Adam and Eve's trueborn son, Seth, is the one who inherits the bloodline, so to speak, who becomes from who we then get Enoch and Noah and everybody else. I believe the Apocalypse of Adam tells the story of what happened, along with Sophia and emanations and all of that other stuff. I'm wondering if that's why Azazel remains as Batterman to Lucifer's army, as seen in the Sandman, and why he's been using his blood, both in Supernatural and in the Tekken games, to create an army of sorts with demonic blood who possess supernatural and psychic abilities, who can later be used as vessels, as Sam was and as many of the others that this demon created. And then we have even Lilith, very busy, as always, who was the first demon, according to Ruby, to be turned by Lucifer to pervert the Most High's creations, and who, according to Supernatural, would be the 666th seal that would bring about the apocalypse, or Ragnarok, or the end of the world, and propel us forward to a rebirth. And then it's interesting because I've been following, I don't know if it's just based on what I've been interested in or if it's just kismet or something, but I've been following these demons through media, which is what I began this with. And we have Lilith in Shin Megami Tensei V forming the Quadistu, I think it's called, as she tries to bring back the primordial chaos deity from Dat, or, the underworld, to our realm. And even in the latest Diablo game, she is actually brought back by a secret ritual where the person is tricked into thinking that it's some sort of secret treasure, and really it's a demon. Same with, I'm actually replaying Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. I played it in 2004 when I was younger, and I'm playing it again. And it just reminds me of how Princess Peach was kept as a vessel. And really, Mario thinks he's pursuing this treasure locked by the crystal stars in an underground city, and sunken city, I should say. And really, it's a demon that that possesses Princess Peach. And I'm wondering if it's the same sunken city, if it's like an Atlantis callback, similar to Old Valyria from George R. R. Martin's books, A Song of Ice and Fire, or if it's like the same sort of sunken city where there's supposed to be treasure waiting, from Delicious in Dungeon, which is an anime series that I didn't finish watching it. I need to finish watching that. But if we go backwards, we can have Lilith being resurrected in Diablo 4, her getting her girls together, and attempting to bring back chaos into the world in Shin Megami Tensei V for Vengeance. And then we have her in Supernatural, her roles fulfilled or her plans foiled, and she willingly lets herself be sacrificed to break the 666 seal to start the apocalypse. If we look at it that way, it is a timeline of what that demon has done from the beginning to the end of her life, that it's already been recorded. So that's the approach I've been taking. And similarly, we have Ignatius, I think I said it right the first time, who was supposed to be her mate, her husband. And in Diablo 4, he actually does break with her. But also, we have him in the Assassin's Creed games, which, go about DNA memories from a specific bloodline. And again, the specific bloodlines are useful for both demons and angels. And we have Ignatius using Hatham Kenway as a host. And he is actually the leader of the Templar Order, and he just jumps vessel after vessel to remain the Grand Master. I don't know this, it's just a little theory, but I remember it talks about, what is it, King Alfred of the Saxons. I'm wondering if back since then, that's how long he's been jumping vessels. I don't know, I need to look into that though. But of course, in Diablo 4, he does have a change of heart, and tries to go to the good side and fights alongside Archangel Michael, who comes to hell to fight. Similar in Supernatural, where Sam drags Lucifer and Michael to hell, to the cage. And in Shin Megami Tensei V for Vengeance, Archangel Michael is gone, along with the other archangels, and nobody knows where they are. So, could they have been in hell for the time fighting? Kind of lines up. Who knows, though? So there are many forces here on Earth. Some have come down to chosen vessels like Supernatural. Some were born naturally and remembered who they are, like Anna or Anna in Supernatural, an Earth Angel. And some are starseeds, indigo children, same as the demons and the demon spawn, which I had mentioned earlier. And then we have cases like Jinwoo from Solo Leveling, who was ritualistically killed, reborn, and essentially tricked into fighting for the good side in the last Great Holy War, being a chosen vessel for an angel or an archon that fell from grace but still received God's favor. Then we also have a lot of avenging angels at this time, or ghost riders, like that Nicolas Cage movie. We have, I believe it's called A Killer Paradox. I reviewed it on my one of my other blogs. We have people who are hashing out some divine justice or divine wrath on evildoers who do not get persecuted by the law. All these beings will become more apparent during this time, as angels are simply, as Castiel said, again, they're just warriors. They are the military of the heavenly realm. And they take many forms, some expected, some unexpected. And there may be other creatures that show up during this time as well. Like with the auroras and northern lights giving us more of a Schumann's resonance, and just everything the magnetic field of the earth and just everything else just being kind of crazy right now. We might have fairies show back up like in Maleficent, trolls like in that Netflix movie about a troll just trying to get home and everybody was trying to stop it. We have the Leviathan Tiamat, who was in Your Name, as Quetzalcoatl was in Children Who Chase Lost Voices from Deep Below, both by Makoto Shinkai. Great films, you should check them out. As well as Godzilla, which is another sort of Leviathan. And you have like video game Subnautica, which shows you the Leviathan, the sea dragons, all that sort of things. And I guess that's all I'm going to say for now because I believe I'm at 30 minutes and this might seem like a jumbled mess, but hopefully I can edit it well that it doesn't seem so weird. I'm a little rusty as you can tell with this. Oh, and of course, just to mention this, I see it in my little notes. We have hunters that might be showing up and might be making more of a presence. And through any media, if you watch it and think about it, even as a child, you'll have seen hunters like an American Dragon, Jake Long. Rose's family was a hunter. They hunted dragons, again now called dinosaurs, since I think 1840. Supernatural, we have the hunters of the supernatural, like the Winchester brothers, which was originally the Campbell family lineage. Apparently, according to Samuel, dating all the way back to chopping off heads of vampires on the Mayflower. And then we had Teen Wolf. The Argents, Allison Argent's family was dealing with killing werewolves. And probably seen these things like in Harry Potter, just all these things. So a lot going on in the world. But I just want to say it's happening. It is real. So I will be focusing on bringing you guys more videos soon. I have a whole backlog of things I have written and half written and a whole bunch of clips, but this is basically what this channel is going to be about. And I will be moving this way towards covering these topics in different lights, I guess I should say, between my two blogs. So thank you guys for watching this. Share this video if you know somebody who might be interested in this sort of thing, and leave me some recommendations down in the comment section below of TV shows, video games, or movies you've seen that may have these similar themes, because I do have a whole list I need to get through. I have many lists actually, because again, I've been avoiding doing this for years, but I figure I owe it to everybody up there to start doing this if it's important. Hopefully it is. So again, tell me your thoughts, leave some recommendations, and I will see you guys again soon, okay? Bye-bye.